I'm going to read all of your comments here. This is in regards to my video on the CEOs of hospitals and their ideas of how to change, how they want to change everything. As one currently in the hospital, I can safely say no, these nurses aren't interested in that bullshit. Absolutely agree. They are concerned about ratios, staff shortages, properly staffing, and giving the support needed to do an increasingly difficult job field. Common sense isn't profitable. Being hogtied by insurance companies, not allowed to use their knowledge. The list goes on and on. CEOs pocketing bonuses. Yes, there's all these excuses. And yes, CEOs do pocket. They give themselves 35% raise increases when their employees didn't even get a bonus, let alone likely a raise. I mean, most nurses haven't had raises. If they have, it's nothing that's going to make any difference. But then while they don't give you raises, they cut your staff or people leave because they've been making the environment hostile. They've been making the environment more difficult. And especially in the field of nursing, I think most nurses get into it because, especially ones in psych, I would say especially ones in psych, but all of them, but in psych most especially, you got into psych because you wanted to spend time with patients. You wanted to do everything you can to hear them, help them, and do what we nurses are supposed to do. And now all we do is check boxes. That's all we do. Epic, check box, check box. It doesn't even matter what computer program, but most of the hospitals are on Epic. Currently, where I'm at, we're paper charting. Yeah, seems like the whole thing is shady with the freestanding psych hospitals. Though those are the most dangerous right now. But this is just a game. These CEOs have been lying to nurses forever. And the biggest lie, the biggest lie that is being spread by leadership right now is that there's a nursing shortage. No, there is not. There has been nothing but a waiting list to get into nursing programs, going back to even when I entered nursing. It was a lottery. That was 13 years ago. So there's so many women and men getting into nursing. There is not a nursing shortage. This is about the CEOs finding their cutesy little ways of getting around paying nurses what they deserve to be paid and getting around why they can't staff appropriately. If they are going to staff so minimally that people are afraid to come to work, people are scared when they're at work, then they are creating a dangerous environment, which begs the question, why are the people that are creating the dangerous environments that nurses are being forced to deal with, why are they thinking that they are going to make anything better in society? They have only made things better for themselves. The biggest mistake the hospitals and the leadership in healthcare made was when they monopolized. Obamacare took us down the bad path. It's just the way it goes. People can continue to tell themselves how great it is. I have yet to see anybody face to face tell me that Obamacare is good. Most people know it's no good. I talked to a nurse I had worked with the other day that I work with, and she was from a former facility. And she was in a big leadership position. She's working staff now, and she let you could tell she was a good leader too. There's very few leaderships in nursing right now because they don't have any power. Nurse leadership, the managers used to have power and some say over their units, and over the years they've lost that power. So they have to play this game between, and that's what this nurse was telling me, is having to play this game between, being honest with your staff, because if you respect them, and most nursing leaderships should. It's hard to these days though. They just go along with corporate, and they think that gets them off the hook. But she was a nurse leader where she left because it increasingly became a situation where she would have to find a way to like lie to her staff. And she saw the bullshit for what it was. And those are the kind of leaders you want. It's not the people that are staying, because they're just lying. They're just believing the Kool-Aid. They're just, taking in the Kool-Aid and believe everything that the CEOs are saying. I mean, we have heard about budgets for long enough. It's time for the hospital CEOs to stop pocketing the money, to stop screwing patients and their staff over. That's just the way it is. Nurses want to care for patients. That is what people want to do, and we don't get to do that anymore. And then it's us that patients get mad at. In psych, many of the situations that arise many times, you could totally, you many times can handle, but many times you're cut, you're thinned out so much staff-wise that you have to cut short spending time with somebody. And that many times in psych can cause somebody to go off the deep end. I mean, where I'm at currently, it is so lacking of staff that you just hope to God that when somebody is having a meltdown, when somebody's escalating, you just hope to God that somebody else doesn't start at the same time. And many times they do. Because it's unmanageable. And yet then I read what the CEOs say in healthcare about how they're going to bring brighter days. And I think you are the biggest snake oil salesman of them all. And it doesn't serve me right. I'm a nurse. I'm a nurse on social media speaking up because I got fed up with it after Northwestern. I got fed up with the same bullshit, seeing the same bullshit over and over again everywhere I went. And every nurse manager making an excuse for why we have to do this or to do that, whatever the stupidness is, why we can't hire. We have people's lives in our hands. And we are supposed to be helping people. And we're not allowed to do it. And it's because of the very leadership and their lackeys that go along with them. When I talked to this nurse the other night, I had such respect for her because you could just tell by talking to her, like she understood it. She's been asked at this place to consider a leadership. She won't have anything to do with it for one reason. She said it's not like I'll have any freedom to say what I need and I'll be given what I need. So those are there may be some smaller hospitals. Every now and then you'll find a good leader. If you're at a small hospital, stay there. Don't go running out. Because many times what you'll find out is that where you go to, it'll be worse. That is what this nurse leader said to me. She said that she should have just basically went staff where she was at, but instead she had left completely. And then where she's at now, I've said it's one of the worst places. It is the worst place I've worked. It's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous. It's scary. It's scary dangerous. And I've been in psych for 13 years. I'm one of those, a lot of nurses will go into psych when they first get out of school only to get their feet wet. They really don't want to stay in it. They usually want to go to ICU or ER or OB, something like that. I'm one of those people that knew I wanted to be a psych nurse because I thought it's the best way to try to help people that are in the most crisis. And yet you're just not allowed to do it. It's like at every turn they want to make it so bad to where you don't get the opportunity to help people. And it could be so different. It could be so different. So I'm disgusted in every way, sick to my stomach, disgusted that the healthcare system is being allowed to do what they're doing. And I don't know what the answers is because you don't want state-run government healthcare either. I mean, that's the VA. So I just know that there's a lot of nurses that care, but we've been being screwed over for decades and decades.